Hi there, and welcome back to Blue Ocean English and some more grammar on the moon. In this video, I will show you how to become fantastic at speaking English using the past perfect. When do we use the past perfect? We use the past perfect to talk about an action that happened before something in the past. So if we look at the timeline, you can see that here we have something in the past, and then the past perfect is something that happened before this thing in the past. We form the past perfect using had and the past participle. So that's the third column in the irregular verb table. For example, I had worked, she had moved, they hadn't sung, had they arrived? Because we use the past perfect before something in the past, we use it a lot with the past simple. A simple time phrase to help you think about this is to use a phrase like this. Yesterday at 10 o'clock, I met Clive. So this is past simple, it's finished. But before that, at 9 o'clock, I had spoken to David. So when we use before that at 9 o'clock, then we use the past perfect. So it's before the thing at 10 o'clock, so it's before the past. Or yesterday I went to the shops, but before that I had been to the bank. Last week I saw James. He told me that the day before he had seen Sarah. Now I'm going to show you some examples using the walking tour. So here we have an example from Chicago. So you can go to YouTube, search walking tour Chicago, and you can find lots of videos like this walking around Chicago. And this is a fantastic way to practice your speaking. Everyone says, oh, I don't have the chance to speak English. Well, you can practice speaking here. And remember, if you think there's no one to correct you, so it's useless, remember, your problem is you don't speak English much, not that you speak English badly. So try speaking English more and then worry about being better after. So here the time word we will use doesn't really work, so we need a little story or an idea to make it before the past simple. So the phrase or the idea we will use is that he, she, they, etc. They saw John yesterday, but before that. So he saw John yesterday, but before that he had not worked. She had spoken to her friend. They had eaten a pizza. He had been to the train station. Or it had rained. And then some questions. Had they met Graham? Had she visited the museum? Had he walked a lot? Now we'll go to the Van Gogh Cafe so I can show you how you can sit in a real world situation in your life and practice using these phrases so you can become fantastic at using the past perfect in your life. Are you ready? Let's go! So here we are at the Van Gogh Cafe. Now I'll show you some examples of how you can use the past perfect in your life in a real world situation, just using a bit of imagination and the things you can see. So we'll look around the painting, see what we can find, and we'll use the past perfect to talk about them. So the time phrase we will use is before yesterday. So let's try with any. So we're going to try question, then the positive, then the negative all together. So question, had she seen her friend? Yes, she had seen her friend. Or no, she hadn't seen her friend. Had they played chess? Yes, they had played chess. No, they hadn't played chess. Had he worked a lot? Yes, he had worked a lot. No, he hadn't worked a lot. Had it been to the train station? It is the horse. Yes, it had been to the train station. Or no, it hadn't been to the train station. Had it opened on time? It, the shop. Had it opened on time? Yes, it had opened on time. No, it hadn't opened on time. So, just before we finish, I want to show you an exercise that will help you to understand the past perfect better and how we use it with the past simple. So here you need to write down some things that you did yesterday and the time that you did them. So for example, you can see here my list, what I did during the day, and you can see the verbs are in the past simple. This is for yesterday, so everything is finished. Now we will talk about what we did yesterday, but we will begin at 6 o'clock and we will go backwards through the day. So we will end at 9 o'clock. We begin with the past simple. At 6 o'clock I went home, but before that I had taken a break. But before that I had spoken to Alice. And before that I had eaten lunch with Clive. And before that I had called Helen. And at 9 o'clock, before I called Helen, I had had a meeting with Tony. So here you can see when we move back from a point in the past, we keep using the past perfect. And just something strange about this tense is that you can often find yourself saying had. So for example, yesterday at lunch I met Clive, but before that I had had a meeting. So here have is the verb that we use for the past perfect formation and the verb that we're using. So we need to use it twice together. It might be a bit strange, but it's quite common. Have is a very common verb, so this is a very common combination. So this exercise is fantastic for helping you practice using the past perfect. And one last thing to say about the past perfect, along with the past perfect continuous, this is the only tense that is not essential everyday English. All the other tenses are very, very common, very important because they are common, because we use them all the time. The past perfect is not quite like this. It is less common because it is a time that we don't often talk about. We don't always talk about something before the past. So it's for specific examples. One example of when we would use it naturally is if we're telling a story about the past and we're moving back and forward in time, but everything in the past. So when we tell this story and we move backwards from a point in the past, we would use the past perfect. So for example, if I'm telling my friend, last week I went to meet David and we had a really nice lunch. I forgot to say, before I met David, I had spoken to Sarah. So here I'm moving back in time, telling a story about the past, and I use the past perfect. So that's it for today's lesson. I hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to go outside and practice your English. Use the past perfect in your world like I showed you, and keep using it until it's very easy for you, and then you can move on. And I'll see you again next time. Here we are, just another typical English summer day. Just before I go, it's just me doing everything here at Blue Ocean English. So if you like what I'm doing and you want to see more, please don't forget to leave a comment. Maybe you have an idea for a video or a nice background picture that you'd like to see, or share this video with a friend. The best way for you to say thank you is to hit the like and subscribe buttons, and check out my merchandise, all the nice things you can buy, t-shirts, hats. You can also check out our great books on Amazon. There's 3 phrasal verb books, An Ocean of English phrasal verbs, each book with 200 examples, a lovely picture, and 3 clear examples of how we use each phrase. And then 3 books for idioms. They're called An Ocean of English Idioms. Also 3 books with 600 idioms, 200 in each book, all with a picture and 3 clear examples of how we use each idiom. Thank you very much for watching, and wherever you are, try to feel English today.
Girlfriend in a coma, serious. Girlfriend in a coma, I know, it's really serious. There were times when I could have murdered her, but you know I would hate anything to happen to her. No, I don't want to see her. Do you really?